this track was the big eye-opener, because for the first time I heard all the sounds mixed together on a bounce down, and it was almost like they were just magically mixed.
Andy Pickering here. On today's video I'm going to be talking about bouncing down, or the ping pong technique, specifically about the first time I ever bounced down. I was halfway through my third record, my first full-length album. The track is called Many Tears, and you can hear a clip of it here.
The strangest feeling, it's the one that looks within.
This was the first ever time I used the bounce down technique, actually twice, in the same recording. And it was the first time also that I got near to a full production on the 4-track. Now I've just gone through the tape in preparation for this video, and there's 2 full bounce downs on the tape of organ, acoustic and drums, which were the first 3 tracks on the tape. Bounced those onto one, and then I did a bass and an electric guitar, and I then bounced those also onto one. I started doing the vocals, as I can hear it on the tape, but I think at that point I put the bounce tracks into the computer, and then I finished the vocals at a later date on a different pass of tape. Now what I'm going to do today is not only go through the first bounce I ever did and listen to it and sort of appreciate it for the beautiful gluiness that the sounds join together when you do the bounce down, but also, just for fun, I'm going to finish the vocals, do a new pass of the vocals on the original recording from 2014, and do a nice remix.
Okay, so before we get into what's on the tape, I just want to focus on the question, why bounce down? Well, for me, it was something that obviously I was aware of as a recording technique to free up tracks on your very limited 4-track, but it was also, you know, this track was the big eye-opener, because for the first time I heard all the sounds mixed together on a bounce down, and it was almost like they were just magically mixed. I mean, yes, I'm mixing them as I'm doing it, but you know, that fader goes up and it's all like done. When you work in a DAW, you don't normally get that kind of luxury. So for me, making retro sounding kind of music that's very reminiscent of 60s, that's how they used to record. That's how those records sound like they sound, because they are bounce downs. You know, you used to have balance engineers in the 60s whose sole job was to overview the bounce downs. This track that we're just about to get into now, Many Tears, it was the first time that I thought, you know what, I'm going to try it. And as I tried it, I realised that I could fit a full production doing it all myself with bounce downs that's still going to be good enough quality to release. Obviously I'd done demos on the 4-track before, like the last video I did, what talked about the first thing I ever recorded on it. And I'd also done filling up the tracks and throwing them into my DAW. But this was the first time that I went, wow, I could actually use this for a full production and it'll actually sound more retro, better, and gave me that analog workflow that when you actually pull off is the most satisfying thing in the world. Let's have a look what we've got on the tape. Now before I hit play, I'll just briefly give you an overview of what there would have been. So on track 1, track 3 and track 4, there would have been a drum loop, an acoustic and an organ, and all 3 of those were bounced onto track 2. Now unfortunately I cannot show you those original elements because they've been recorded over, so we're just left with the drum loop, the organ and the acoustic all blended onto one, which so yeah, drum loop with some hand claps there. and then I would have recorded over, let's say, these two tracks here with a bass and electric guitar. So there is some vocals on here.
She makes me feel there's no distraction.
But I've been through the tape and they're not very good and they don't even have the right lyrics. So 2 bounces there, 5 things in total going on. But what that's going to do is mean that I'm going to do a vocal and a backing vocal just for the purpose of this video and to finish, you know, what I started here and have a nice little 4-track recording for you. So let's get on with those vocals. Okay, we're all set up for a vocal. I've decided, since it's already just been set up in the studio, to go for the tube ribbon mic. Now this is a mic, if you're doing vocals with, you need to be quite far away on. You can't get in on a mic like this. That's why I love my electro voice, because you can get right in on it. But yeah, this one is just going to be an ambient vocal. I'm going to be stood like sort of way back here like this. And that is going into track 1 on here. So hello, hi, yo, as you can see. Then that's going a direct out from behind there, which is already in my patch bay. It's coming out of my direct out into my compressor. Hello! And then I'm using the Pultec out of the compressor and into the 4-track. Now the 4-track's going into the insert. So this is an insert cable using the red end, and it's going directly bypassing the preamp on here. And then we've got a hello, as you can see. So that's my signal chain for this very quick vocal that I'm bashing down on this. So let's go for some takes. I used to sing this song live a lot, so hopefully I can A, remember the lyrics, and B, hit the notes. I get the strangest feeling, it's the one that looks within. And if you need a place to hide, then listen in your heart. I'm listening to mine. I get the strangest feeling, it's the one that looks within. If you need a place to hide, then listen in your heart. I'm listening to mine. Okay, vocals are down. Lead vocal, backing vocal. Let's have a quick listen to what we've got on the tape. Hi. Hi, how are you doing? Hi. 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 I get the strangest feeling, it's the one that looks within. If you need a place to hide, then listen in your heart. All recorded with I'm listening heavy compression on the track, so I don't need to worry about that anymore. If you would all believe me, time will be by your side. And if you need a place to be here, think of me this. Okay, so now we're ready to go for a mix, and what I'm going to do to those vocals is whack a simple effects loop with the spring reverb on it. So I want reverb on the vocals here, coming in on the effects send and return. So what I'm going to do is the effect master, which is the send, that's this cable here coming out the back of the 4-track. That's going to go into my EQ here, and what I'm going to do there is take out the low end and boost some of the highs up here. Then out the EQ into the spring reverb. Switch this baby on. Out the spring reverb into the compressor. Now I want to blow the reverb up, compress it really hard. I just love doing that. And then this cable here is going out of the compressor, and that the other end of this is already here on the effect return. So let's get some of that on the vocals.
And if you need
but just with the tiniest
to be here, think of me this time.
I've got loads there.
I'm waiting
As much as I want
the line.
until it gets absolutely silly.
And in the way she looks and has attraction.
So I'll get a nice amount and then see what we've got.
She makes me feel there's no distraction.
Okay, so we are ready for the mix. I'm going to patch in the audio so you're going to get to hear the proper mix. Now you might notice these are all panned to the right. That's because I'm mixing in mono just with one speaker for two reasons. First reason that it's super 60s to do that, and a really good sort of practice in separating all your elements all in mono. Second reason is really just because I'm on my knees down here and I don't want to have to pull the 4-track out and sit back here and do a stereo mix when there's not really a lot of panning that I can actually do anyway. So yeah, part reason, part laziness, but this is going to be more than good enough for this video. Now, so yes, we've got vocal, we've got music, we've got the lead guitar. I forgot to mention, you might think, what does that remind me of, that style of lead guitar? Don't Worry Baby by the Beach Boys was my inspiration for the jink, 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 jink. And yes, we've got the nice reverbed vocals recorded all through the tube ribbon mic. It's gone through the tubes on here. I've definitely been pushing that desk as well, so they've definitely got a very gritty sound, and I quite like them, to be fair. So without further ado, the track is Many Tears. It's on my When Today Is History album, also redone on the Telmo's first EP. And let's go. So let's go for a mixeroo. Don't know why I said that. Cheers, enjoy. Hi.
looks within. If you need a place to hide, then listen in your heart. I'm listening to mine. Oh,
Best thing about the bounce down is the commitment. You commit to the track, and from that point in time I never looked back, and I did it over and over again. It inspired my next EP, Bonafide, which was done all on the 4-track without the use of any dumping into DAW and back onto the 4-track, and vice versa, like I was doing before. It opened up a whole world of just going the all analog route, and I do think, you know, whatever sacrifice you make in quality of the sound with the bounce down, because there's always going to be a bit of added noise, a bit of thinning. It's just what happens. But I think it makes up for it in glue, super glue, a vibe, and just the general beautiful sound, the way it all goes together, the way the sounds mix together on the bounce. I don't know, it's something magical that I cannot recreate any other way. So if you like my music, please follow me on Bandcamp. Pick up a copy of the high quality WAV files, support me if you can. I like to go back and retrospectively look at where I came from with songs like this and sort of, you know, appreciate the different steps that I took to get to this studio, this space, and what I'm doing now. And I started in a very humble, very naive way of just having a 4-track and one microphone and just doing the best I could with what I'd got. Bounce down technique, go and try it because I absolutely love it. Please subscribe if you've not subscribed already. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon. Cheers, bye.